This is take 3 English class, and I'm sure we're very excited for take 3 and just to be here this morning. And this is my poetry assignment on Rudyard Kipling, who, unlike most authors and poets that we read about, actually lives a very upbeat life in his lifetime. He was very successful. All his poems and writing were heralded as great even in his time. And he wrote children's stories. If you've ever heard of The Jungle Book, well, he wrote it on snowy nights in Vermont, and just kind of traveled throughout the world, really, with his family from time to time, taking summers in Africa, living in London and Vermont. I mean, not much drama or sadness shrouded his life, besides the fact that his son was killed in war, much to his own fault. However, he is an amazing writer and poet, known for his ability to use meter and rhyme and the overall scientific writing of poetry almost. And he was a master of it all. He was the first writer to ever, or first English writer to ever receive the Nobel Prize for Literature, which is pretty impressive. And kind of surprising also, if you think about who got it before him then. But moving on to the poem now, the one I chose is entitled If, and I'll talk about some more after I read it. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired of waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. Well, I just failed there. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stood up and build them with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word of your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will that says hold on, if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. This poem, personally, speaks to me in a lot of ways. It's not, something that has a lot of in-depth analysis, I think. It just plainly states of what it takes to be a man or woman, because I don't want to get called a sexist by Kaylin or Miss Saunders again. But it's something I agree with a lot, because I think, the right of being an adult or being a man is something that's been long lost in our generation. If you just look at it, you can see all these things it says, like, if you can keep your head on when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. It's like, keep your cool, don't be arrogant, dream, but don't follow your dreams into despair, think, but don't get lost in your mind. And some of the biggest ones are like, lose everything you've ever earned, but be able to pick back up and just keep going. It really speaks to me. It's just really weird that it speaks to me, I guess, but I think he was a genius writer, and I think he might have meant it for his son almost. But that is Rudyard Kipling. I implore everyone in this room, or that's in this room, not this room, but the classroom, to read this poem and take something out of it. I really think you'll enjoy it. And I have one more poem to leave the class with for today. And it speaks to me from the Dead Poets Society, and I hope you enjoy it. It's by Walt Whitman, which Brooke has already covered. O me, O life, of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, of myself forever reproaching myself, for who more foolish than I, and who more faithless, of eyes that vainly crave the light of the objects mean, of the struggle ever renewed, of the poor results of all, of the plotting and sordid crowds I see around me, of the empty and useless years of the rest, with the rest of me intertwined. The question, O me, so sad recurring, what good amid these, O me, O life? Answer. that you are here, that life exists in identity.